What's going on, everyone? So let's talk about Lauri Markkanen. I've been very reluctant talking about Lauri Markkanen just because I don't think he's a realistic trade target. Now, nothing's impossible. I mean, we've seen some strange things happen throughout the history of the NBA, especially for the Lakers. But I just think the return in which the Jazz are looking for, particularly Danny Ainge is looking for Lauri Markkanen, it's very difficult, if not close to impossible, for the Lakers to pull off. If Danny Ainge really does want a Mikal Bridges type trade for Lauri Markkanen, the Lakers just can't pull that off. They just don't have the assets in order to do so. However, the Lakers are, based on reports, interested in throwing in an offer and at least kind of putting their hat in the ring. And I know a lot of fans really want Lauri Markkanen, throwing out the possibility of Lauri Markkanen. I like Lauri Markkanen. I think he would be solid on the Lakers, but it's a couple factors that go into play. One, does he make us a contender, right? Is he the move that really puts us over the top? These are things you got to ask yourself, right? Let me know down in the comments. Number two, you have to ask is he and Anthony Davis now your two stars that are best to go forward with post LeBron? Because Lauri Markkanen, you're going to have to pay $40+ million. And he wants that bag, right? As he should. He's been very good. So that means when LeBron leaves, is Lauri Markkanen going to be the guy that you and Anthony Davis are winning a championship with? Lastly, is he worth the amount in which you'd have to trade to go get him on top of the salary you would have to pay him? Me personally, I don't believe so. Unless you're a team like, say, the Thunder, where I actually think Lauri Markkanen is that piece that potentially makes them the clear-cut favorite, I don't think it's worth, for most of these teams that are interested in Lauri Markkanen, to go trade for Lauri Markkanen. Right? Team like the Warriors, you're kind of in a position where you don't really have much of a choice, right? Like, you need to do something to try to put Steph in the best position possible, right? But, and, you know, you're kind of in the spot where, like, you almost owe it to Steph, right? Like, teams like the Spurs don't really make sense to me for Lauri Markkanen. Like, I mean, he makes sense, but again, it's like he's a great compliment alongside Victor Wembanyama would be great. But I just think the Spurs are best to kind of stay the course, right? And wait for that right guy to come, right? Like, to me, I just think if you're the Spurs, you don't want to just throw your assets and money away on Lauri Markkanen, especially because if he was like 23 maybe, but he's not, 27, right? So to me, it's like, if you look at the Lakers, I just think it would take you basically every asset you have. You're basically emptying the cupboard to go get Lauri Markkanen. And I don't believe it makes them one of the top 3 teams in the league, top 5 teams in the league. And I also think that he's not worth the $40 million. I think he's worth, a good amount of money. I think he should be at least probably in the $30 million range. But $40 million, I don't think he is your best player or second best player on a championship contender. I don't. He's clearly not your best player, because they can't even make the playoffs with him or the play-in with him. And I don't believe that him being your second best player is enough to win you a championship. Now, maybe if you have, if Victor Wembanyama becomes the best, clear-cut best player in the league, maybe, right? I just think he is closer to your third best player, right? I think personally. So to me, again, I would love to have him in a Laker jersey. I would love it. I just don't think it's very feasible. Now, look, Danny Ainge is on record saying that he believes the Lakers draft picks are the best on the market, because he believes that LeBron James and Anthony Davis are eventually going to leave, and when they do, the Lakers are going to be terrible for a long time. And look, I'm old enough to remember that 6-7 year stretch where we were before LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So he may be right. So maybe it is possible that Danny Ainge values the Lakers picks more. So maybe if the Lakers were willing to clean out the cupboard, maybe Danny Ainge would go, you know what, I'll take their 2 firsts, unprotected, and then give me like 2 pick swaps, and then, throw in whatever, an Austin Reeves or something, and let's go. Right? That could be a real possibility. That could be something that happens. Maybe you could get a Lauri Markkanen and a Walker Kessler. Maybe there's something along those lines, right? But I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze for Lauri Markkanen. And and again, I don't know how serious Danny Ainge is in trading Lauri Markkanen. Right? Like, yes, he's entertained offers, he's had the conversations and stuff, but he also has a history of doing that and then not trading the guy. And he's kind of like their one selling point, their one draw to really get it done. But here's the problem. He's also 27. You're not in a position to where you're going to be contending anytime soon. And if you sign him to that new contract, you're not going to be able to trade him to basically the trade deadline next year, which if you can't pull that off, and now you've also eliminated like 90% of the teams that can actually trade from. There's no better time for Danny Ainge to trade Lauri Markkanen than there is right now, because almost every team in the league can trade for him. Because he's not on a $40 million contract. He's on like an $18 million contract. So again, I really like the idea of Lauri Markkanen. And if you could get him, like if he was like, hey, I'm willing to take 25 to 30 million, right? Like, hey, give me 4 years, 100 million, go trade for him right now. I just don't think that's the case. I think he's going to want his 43 million a year or whatever it is. And at that point, it's like now it's him and Anthony Davis for the foreseeable future. I don't think it's going to be as easy to trade him once he's 30 and making 45 million a year. I don't think it's the best option. I'd almost rather the Lakers stand pat personally than going and unloading everything to go get Lauri Markkanen. And again, it's nothing to do with Lauri Markkanen. I definitely think we're better with Lauri Markkanen. If you could get Lauri Markkanen and like a Walker Kessler, then maybe, right? Like now it's kind of like, be kind of hard to say no, or maybe you kind of help them get off of Sexton's money too. Because, I mean, look, you could take on, if you wanted to, you could take on Sexton, Kessler, and Lauri Markkanen rather easily, right? I mean, that's basically what? That's like 40 million? So you could do that rather easily. It's just, again, is that worth it for the Lakers to take on Sexton's salary, give up all of your picks, your pick swaps? I mean, even my dog in the background playing with the squeaky toy is telling you that it doesn't think it's a good idea. But no, in all seriousness, it's like, I think Lauri Markkanen makes us better. I think he makes us very much better. I think it would be an excellent acquisition. I would not be against it at all if the Lakers did it. If the Lakers do manage to pull off Lauri Markkanen, sign me up. However, I don't know if that, in the end, turns out to be the best action. Right? Like, if it works and the Lakers win, then yeah. Hey, if after, like, if we win one championship, trading for Lauri Markkanen, it was worth it. Right? Because you could spend the next 20 years and never win a championship. But I don't know if Lauri Markkanen is enough to do that. Like, the beauty of Lauri Markkanen is he doesn't need the ball. He's not going to take away from Anthony Davis. He's not going to take away from LeBron James, which is good, right? Like, if you're going to bring in another guy, you want a guy that can fit and complement. Lauri Markkanen is probably the best complement alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Go get you 20-plus game, shoot the lights out, all of that. Slot him next to AD at the 4, play him at 3. Like, you got flexibility. Not great defensively. Can't really, like, he can do some with the ball, but he kind of needs setting up to an extent, right? I just don't know if that's like the best. If you're going to pay Lauri Markkanen's also had an injury history. Is Lauri Markkanen really better than taking on Zach LaVine, who is probably a better natural fit? He's going to be making the same kind of money. I don't know. They both have injury concerns. I don't know if that's the best course. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like the idea of Lauri Markkanen? Do you think, no, stay away from Lauri Markkanen? Think he's worth giving up what you got to give up to get him? Again, how do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Now subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.